it's Jessicat here from Jessicat's Medi-Spa and Pilates. So I put together a just over 2-hour workout for you. The reason it's so long, guys, is because I've taken my time in my explanation through the exercises. I've included quite a few exercises within the video to build upon the skills that you've learned in the 1, 2, 3 basic exercise videos and really get a grasp of where I want your pelvis to sit, where I want you to breathe, what muscle groups I want you to focus on as I'm doing the exercises. And I've taken my time in the transition periods as well, really going into a nice rest pose or stopping and taking the time to explain what we're going to do next and how I want you to do it, and also giving you alternatives to props. So this isn't just a workout, it's really more like a workshop in basic Pilates, but we're going to be learning in an active way, learning by doing. So that's the best way I find to learn. Things you're going to need: a nice big ball. This one's really necessary, guys. You can use things like towels, and I want you to have 2 rolled up towels ready to assist you. But I really want you to try and get hold of one of these, because you can do your back extension. Instead of on the foam roller, you can be using a ball. A foam roller is something I want you to invest in as well. Better than sex and chocolate at the end of the day, ladies, to stretch out your back, stretch out your neck, roll out your ITBs. Honestly, this is a best friend for everybody, particularly if you work long hours at the computer. Then we've got a range of smaller balls. So these are Pilates balls. So they are about 1 kilo. You can get them half a kilo. And they're nice and soft, so you can use them in your neck releases. But if you've got a small ball like this around the house, steal it from the kids. And you can let the air out a little bit and place that behind your head. You can also use it between your knees to make sure your inner thighs are working when we're doing spine twist supine, or you can place it between your ankles and use that in place of this ball when we're doing the hip extension exercises or the booty exercises later on in the video. So really important that you have a nice big ball. Smaller ball would be good, but you can use a rolled up towel behind your head and to do the inner thigh squeezing exercises. TheraBand is another big one. I do want you to get a roll of TheraBands, guys. So you get a full roll of TheraBand. Yellow's the easiest, red's the second easiest, and blue is my favorite. But you can get red and then you can double it over to increase on the intensity. So ball, TheraBand, get yourself a couple of towels. If you don't have these props, you're still going to be able to do the workout, because I want you to, if you don't have a TheraBand handy, get hold of the tie of a dressing gown, yeah, or another bit of material, because we'll be able to utilize this. So if you don't have weighted balls or a TheraBand, get yourself a couple of cans of soup or baked beans, and you'll be able to use those as weights. Would like you to have the foam roller, but we can get away with the ball. Ball's really important, guys, otherwise you won't be able to do the back extension exercises. You could quite possibly double up a towel, so you're going to have your 2 towels, and you could double up a towel, roll it up and place it behind you and do the thoracic release exercises. But just pop down to your local shop and get a ball or steal it from the kids. Okay, so I've gone through the equipment that we're going to use. We're going to take our time in our transitions and our explanations in this video. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to be able to get out for you, so I've really taken my time with it. I want you to fall in love with the Pilates method as I'm falling back in love with it myself. I was an instructor 6 years ago, full-time, went into the beauty business, not a lot of time for Pilates. I certainly don't get to teach it, but I'm rediscovering my own practice, and I will be working out to this kind of a workout every day while I'm renewing my practice, whilst I'm building my strength and my endurance, and then I'll move on to harder workouts. So I'm just sharing this with you and hoping you use it as a launching off point to going on and accessing all the great resources there are out there. YouTube, I love a website called Pilates Anytime. Fantastic instructors. They've got videos with and without equipment, paid and unpaid workshops, and you can really keep yourself safe once you've learnt the fundamentals of the method by accessing a fantastic resource like Pilates Anytime. Now they've got Yoga Anytime. But guys, if you feel pain or strain, stop. Reassess. Come back into the exercise. If you're like me, you should always have your hands behind your head because of weakened and lengthened muscles at the back of your neck. Never work through pain or strain. Go and see a health professional like your doctor or a physiotherapist if that pain persists, or go and work out one-on-one with a Pilates instructor so you can get the basics under your belt and then be able to go and access cheaper resources like group classes or online resources that don't really have to cost you anything. I hope you enjoy this, and I look forward to sharing other videos with you. Look after yourself, stay safe. Jessicat Xxx Medi-Spa and Pilates. And let's go into a nice big lunge. Good, so we're going to stretch into these muscles, guys, at the hips, but we're going to work into crease of the bottom and our booty on the other side. So I want to see my foot. Good, good. I want to draw up through pubic bone up towards the ceiling. Good, good. Pubic bone up towards the ceiling. So have I got glute connection? Yes, I do. Don't want to be doing this all with my quads. And on every breath out, I'm sending that leg behind me even more and longer. Give me 4, guys. Try and send that leg longer behind you. Send your pubic bone up towards the ceiling. Yes, I've got glute connection. Glutes, good. Can that leg go straighter? One more. Good, and bunny hop, bunny hop, bunny hop out of it. Lovely, and leg nice and long behind you. And we're going to go into a nice deep lunge here. I can see my toes. Hips perfectly even. Long leg behind me, long leg behind me. And let's see if I can come up through tummy a little bit more, not be arching through my lower back, and try to be even through my hips. Breathing up into the sides of my rib cage. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominal, send that leg longer behind you. Send that pubic bone up towards the ceiling. And up through pelvic floor, lower abdominal, send that leg longer behind you. Send the pubic bone up towards the ceiling. Oh, 2 more. 1 more. Bunny hop, bunny hop, bunny hop out. Okay, so now we're going to roll down just nice and relaxed because, guys, we're not warmed up yet. Breath over, soft chin to chest, tummy's bringing us over, feet are hip distance apart. And you're just going to walk your way out onto the mat, coming down to the mat in the Pilates way. Nice plank, plank 2 there. And let's go into a nice rest pose because that too helps to release those hip flexors, yeah? And it just starts to give you a nice stretch. So give me 4 breaths where we breathe up into the rib cage. Breath out, up through pelvic floor to expel that breath. I want you to send your fingertips to the other side of the room, but send your tailbone down to the other side of the mat. Give me 2 or 3 more. Here, I think more breath into the sides of the rib cage. Sides of the rib cage. Sides of the rib cage. And come up. Tummy's taking you up. When I really try to force more breath into the sides of my rib cage, even when I've drawn in all the breath I possibly can, I really feel that I just get this wonderful stretch through my upper back that just lets me melt into that floor even more. It's tension that you don't even realize you have, guys, and it just really helps to melt all that tension away. We're going to take a foam roller and go into thoracic stretch. So we're going to place that behind us, and it's going to go about where your bikini strap would be. Okay, so I'm going to bring my toes or my feet together. I'm going to take toes apart, heels apart. Ankles are in line with knees, underneath hips, tummy. We want hip bones, pubic bone nice and aligned. Still not warmed up yet though. I'm going to keep my fingers interlocked and I'm going to relax over that foam roller on the breath in. You saw me just slightly adjust my position because I could feel that my foam roller was a bit too high. Breath out, up through elbows, upper back starts to work. And tummy, 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 tummy comes on. Thinking about that area up just above the pubic bone. On the breath in, I think about sliding my sternum, my chest towards my pubic bone. Breath out, I articulate back and relax over that foam roller. Breathing up underneath my arms, loving that stretch there. Breath out, tummy starts to come on, upper back comes on just to help keep that neck safe here. My head is heavy in my hands as I draw my chest over towards my pubic bone. I relax back, letting go of the pelvic floor, letting go of my abs. But I do not allow, guys, this is a deal breaker. If you're not feeling any stretch, you're arching through your lower back. Okay, I've seen so many people do that and they go, I'm not feeling anything. That's because your hip bones and pubic bone aren't being kept beautifully aligned while you stretch out your upper back. Okay, this still needs to be, heels and pubic bones still need to be aligned while you're over in your thoracic stretch. So I'm asking you to do two things at once, which is what we do in Pilates. Breath out. Elbows start to draw towards one another as the upper back gets involved. But you came up through lower abdominals, up through those muscles that would stop you from urinating, and just above your pubic bone is your focus on your abdominal connection. Rectus abdominis will take care of itself, your six-pack. But lower abdominals need a bit of work through pelvic floor to come on properly. Sternum put towards pubic bone, making sure you're not pushing your lower back into the mat, and back you come. If you can only come to here, fine. But make sure you're relaxing over and not holding tension in head, neck and shoulders. If you can't stay there for long, that's perfectly fine. You can come up and over as much as you need to relax that upper back and to tenderize those upper back muscles. And make no mistake, guys, we're just big bags of meat and that's what you're doing. You're tenderizing your muscles, yeah? So that's what you need to do so that you can work more effectively through the workout that we're about to do. If you feel that that just hurts too much, feel free to do this. Bring the booty up, walk your feet in towards your booty so that you're nice and solid on your support, and you can tenderize those upper back muscles that little bit more. You can release them. Then you can place your booty back, bring your feet together, toes apart, heels apart, and then you can go back into those exercises and hopefully do them with more ease. Breath in, relaxing head, neck and shoulders, releasing the pelvic floor and the tummy. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals. Head is heavy in the hands, and on the breath in, you are just thinking sternum to pubic bone, and it's your tummy doing that. So I want about 6 to 8 of those exercises, guys. And if you had no problem going over and you didn't have to stop partway through to release those muscles by rolling them, right at the end you could just reward yourself with a nice rolling out. Yeah, I can take it up to my neck, but I want you to be careful about doing things like that until you have made friends with your foam roller. And when it starts to get away from you, just bring it in that little bit more. And oh, feels so good. Feels so good. Yeah? I think the strings of my corset have gone under my roller. Ah, feels so good. And here I'm getting an extra stretch in my hip flexors. Nice. So, that is you releasing your thoracic on the roller. Now, if you don't have a roller, we can use Kitty's ball, but I want you using something that's not going to pop, okay? Because that would just mess up your workout. It wouldn't be a lot of fun. Whee! Got balls going everywhere. Let's just put that upper back, and there we go. Relax over that ball, breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Ooh, that's even nicer. Breath in, I think sternum towards pubic bone. Breath out, back we go. Breath in, breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals. Breath in, sternum to pubic bone. Just what you're not going to be able to do, guys. Well, you can sort of roll, but that's not going to release any of your back muscles. It's good for your booty though and your balance. Yeah, it is. So we might have to do that sometime. So you can use a ball. And if this is too mean, then you might want to start with a ball. Now we're going to go into our warm-up and then our workout. So I'm nice and tall through my back, and now we're going to go all the way down to the floor. Nice and controlled, guys. Think controlology, which is what Joseph Pilates, who came up with the method of Pilates, called the method. Arms come up, breath out, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Good. And I'm going to send those legs nice and long whilst I pick up my ball and I come down, down, down to the mat. Good. I'm going to find my laying down position or my supine position, and I'm going to place that ball behind my head. Good. So if you've got a ball like this around the house, ladies, I want you to let some air out of it. And then I want you to use it by placing it just at the base of your skull, yeah? And I want you to imagine that it's just got to be a little bit higher than a normal pillow. We want to not be looking behind us or forward. We want this to sit in a position which actually makes us feel nice and supported. So if it's too high, let more air out of it. And bring your hands to your sides. Good. I want you to bring your toes together, then toes and heels together, and then toes apart, heels apart. Ankles in line with knees, in line with hips, and hip bone, pubic bone perfectly aligned. Let's go into little drawbacks through base of the skull. So guys, you're just going to take a hand, place it on the front of the neck, and I want you to draw the base of your skull into that ball. Be looking slightly forward, just gaze over your knees. And just draw on and then relax, draw on and then relax, draw on and relax. And what I want you to look out for is, are those muscles in the front of your neck working? I want them off. So I want them to turn off. I want them to turn off. I want them to turn off. So the muscles I want you to be working are muscles in the back of the neck. I only want you using those muscles. Muscles in the back of the neck, I want you using those because they become lengthened and weakened throughout everyday work or the forward flexion. Think about reaching into your car, getting your groceries, or your computer work. This is a great exercise to be strengthening up those lengthened and weak muscles and pulling a forward head position, which we all tend to suffer from, back into alignment. Now I'm just going to be drawing the base of my skull into that ball, just for like 20 counts, guys. Nice and relaxed through the rest of my body. I'm just keeping that connection through the muscles in the back of my neck. I'm pressing through my feet. I'm just thinking about melting the backs of the arms into that mat, and then I relax. Good, good. So let's put that ball aside. Now we're going to go into our imprinting and pelvic curl. So it's a breath in to prepare. Up underneath the arms and up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, and I'm getting a lovely release through my lower back now, just like when I was coming up and over in my rollovers. Breath out. I return to a nice neutral pelvis where hip bones and pubic bone are perfectly aligned. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. So good. Relax head, neck and shoulders, and breath in. Relax that pelvic position back to hip bones, pubic bone being nicely aligned. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Good. And your pubic bone should be drawing up and your lower back nice and relaxed. And now we're going to go up into our pelvic curl, guys. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor. Your lower abdominals are drawing that lower back into the mat. Now you pick it up through crease at the bottom. Good. Now I think upper body, I'm going to, draw my lower body weight over my toes, imagining a giant pulling my legs. I'm scooping up through crease of the bottom and pubic bone on that breath in, and breath out. I want to keep my upper body nice and relaxed, still imagining a giant pulling my legs as I return that spine one vertebra at a time to the mat. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals. It's all about the abs at this point, and then you pick it up through crease of the bottom, you pick it up through crease of the bottom, and you come up into a pelvic curl. On the breath in, I take my weight over my toes. Imagine that giant pulling my lower body. I come up through crease of the bottom a little bit more, and press into big toe, little toe, and heel. And as I return, I do not grip through upper body. Upper body's got nothing to do with this exercise. It's all about lengthening over to the other side of the room as you replace that lower body one vertebra at a time. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, scooping, and now you get the booty involved and you come up into a pelvic curl. On the breath in, you take your weight over your toes. Good, you crease at the bottom, come up through your pubic bone, that little bit more, press into big toes, little toes and heels. Breath out, articulate that spine by sinking through the chest, sinking down, 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 and returning that spine one segment at a time. Last one, we're going to do our pulses in this one, guys. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Now booty gets involved. We come up, good. Here, I want you to imagine a giant pulling that body, the lower body, to the other side of the room. Good, so I want you to feel this crease at the bottom, guys. Upper backs of the legs. And now, little scoops where we come, crease at the bottom, crease at the bottom, crease at the bottom. Good, we're going to do 20 of them. Imagine that giant pulling that body weight. Good. So pulling your knees to the other side of the room. Give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And articulate by sinking that spine through the chest, all the way down to the tailbone and back to the mat. So good. Single leg lift. Here we come. Breath in to prepare. Imagine that cup of water placed on the pelvis, and breath out, crease at the bottom, lower abdominals. Bring that leg up, hinge it up to a tabletop position. Breath in, allow that knee to slide forward, leg slides into the hip pocket. Breath out, I flex the foot because that gives me more booty connection and tummy connection. Return that foot to the floor. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Good, I've hinged it up. I allow that knee to slide towards my sternum and that leg to slide into the hip pocket. Breath out, I think booty, tummy, booty, tummy, booty, tummy, booty, tummy. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. And you know what? Instead of taking that leg down, let's go into doubles. So let's bring that leg up. So we did not push our lower back into the mat just then, guys. We maintained a nice neutral pelvis. Good, whilst our legs are nice and tall. So neutral spine as well. Okay, so take your arms out to sides of the room. Okay, your knees are glued together. Get yourself a little prop, put it between those knees so that those inner thighs don't go on holiday. Still got the cutest, fluffiest kitten underneath the small of my back, so I can just get my hand underneath there. Oh yeah, see, inner thighs thought they could go on holiday. No, they can wake up, bloody lazy buggers. And it's a breath in, tip, tip, tip to the sides of the room. Here I've got to imagine my rib cage coming down to that mat as I send those knees to the other side of the room. And I do not let my knees slide away from my sternum. On the breath out, 100% through sides of the waist, tummy, tummy, tummy to bring me back. Make sure those knees are towards you. Good, good. And breath in, tip, tip, tip to the side. Knees stay in alignment. Rib cage still drawing towards that floor. Breath out, come back to center. Lots, 100% abs there, guys. Check your start position. It's a breath in. You're tipping over like you're tipping over in a box. Knees go one way, rib cage goes into the floor, pressing out through the fingertips. Breath out, you've got 100% abs here. Good, check that your knees are drawing towards your chest. Breath in, tip, 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 like you're being tipped over in a box. Knees are aligned, rib cage drawing into the floor. So guys, you drop the pelvic floor just about 20% here. Dropped your abs by 20% here so that you can pick it up again and bring 100% abs, 100% obliques. Give me one more each side. Love this exercise. Wakes everything up. Also teaches us more about our lateral breathing, how we must breathe up into the rib cage, and we must be able to drop pelvic floor ever so slightly whilst maintaining some pelvic floor and abdominal connection. So here it's about 80%, and now we're going to go for 100% to pull it back. So good. Now we can rest those hip flexors because this is a beginner's workout, guys, in my mind, and I want you to not grip through hip flexors. So here I'm imagining a giant pulling my legs away, and that's keeping my booty firing as well as your abs. Booty abs, that holds your pelvis in place. So if we have really strong abs but our bum's gone on holiday, that's no good. We're going to end up with a sore lower back and postural problems. And it's the same the other way. If we've got really strong glutes and our abs don't work, again, one side of the team is letting us down. So here, we're going to return those legs one at a time. Let it go, shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. And now let's pick them back up again. Breath out, up through lower abdominals, and up we come. And lower abdominals and up we come. You can grab your prop to make sure those inner thighs fire. Arms to the sides, and let's dunk those toes into an imaginary puddle. No problem if you just go halfway, guys. If you just come to here and you're like shaking like I am and your tummy's working, and then you can bring it back 100%, but that's where you feel safe, then do that. Breath in, or if this is all going into your lower back, I want you right now to go back into single leg lift. Single leg lift. Here I've got 80% abs and then 100. 80% abs and then 100. 80% abs and then 100. And I want to do one more because it feels so good. I'm loving the shake. And now we're going to return those legs one at a time from where we got them. Good work. Now let's go into rolling like a ball. Our rib cage is knitted. In order to make sure that my rib cage is knitted and not winging out, I imagine a big purple elephant sitting on my rib cage. That's just me. That's what works for me. Arms are to my sides. On the breath out, I come up into a single leg lift, and here I'm going to go into little teacup circles. So we're doing some hip disassociation here, guys. So I'm going to go drawing towards my midline of my body, so drawing that knee over towards my other leg very slightly, and then circling it away in a tiny teacup circle. Yeah, so here I'm going to keep that going, but I'm quite literally trying to use my inner thighs and muscles on the outsides of the legs and my booty and my tummy to imagine that leg bone is like a teaspoon in a cup of tea, just stirring the sugar into my tea. So I literally want to think about the leg bone moving circular in the hip joint, yeah, teacup circles. Very important, guys. It looks like a nothing exercise, but we become so tight and glued up in our hip complex that we cannot perform these sorts of exercises easily as we mature. And now I'm going the opposite direction. So I'm not letting that knee move away from me, because then I'll grip into the hip flexor. Right now I'm imagining a giant pulling my leg nice and long up out of my hip joint, making me use my glutes and use my tummy. Sometimes I'll flex my foot to help me get a little bit more glutes happening. And now I am literally thinking about that leg bone, and it is just moving in a circular motion in the hip pocket. I'm going to go for another 3. I'm not moving through my hip complex. I'm not moving through my pelvic alignment. And now I'm going to take that leg back down. Yep. And other side. So little teacup circles. And I'm going to think about that knee being just up above my hip, so it's not going to come forward too much. And I'm going to move the muscles that surround my lower leg, just where it goes into my hip pocket, to make this little circle, little teacup circles. Very important that we maintain our hip mobility as we mature, guys. Of course we want a perfect booty. Of course we want nice sculpted thighs and abs and blah blah blah, but it's about moving with fluidity as we mature. Goodness knows we're not all going to be parading around in a bikini as we mature. That's not going to be the most important thing. What's going to be important is we can get up and off the floor easily, not groan as we get on and off a bed or in and out of a chair. We want to be able to jump up out of bed in the morning and feel good, not stiff, tired and sore. And let's take it the other way. Teacup circles. I'm imagining this bone moving around in the hip pocket. Yeah, and I'm using the surrounding muscles of my inner thigh, outer thigh. Of course I'm using a little bit of the hip flexors. They tend to take care of themselves because they're the bullies. It's my abs and my glutes and my inner thighs that I really need to focus on. And I think on this side, my teacup circles are more like jagged little stars. Yeah, and I'm keeping my hip bones perfectly aligned, keeping that lovely gap just underneath the small of my back and not moving through my hip complex. Give me another 3 and 2 and 1 and take it back down. Arms to the sides, hands behind the head, coming up into a chest lift, soft chin to chest. Breathe in, come over further, and one leg comes up, other leg comes up. Take those knees towards the chest a little bit, and I'm going to send one knee towards the chest and one leg away, and I'm going to swap it over. So here we're doing prep for double leg stretch, and I really want to make sure that when I move that leg, I'm moving it from booty. I'm staying high through head, neck and shoulders, but I'm not coming up so high that it's going to move my pelvis. And I'm going to go for another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring it back, lay it down. How did that feel, guys? Take the legs down with control. Now, I want you to note how that felt, and this time we're going to put a little ball underneath our back. So that's why we've got the little red, yeah? So this little guy can go behind my bra strap area or my bikini strap area, or this little guy here, okay? So that's going to assist me on coming up a little bit higher, but in a controlled way. So let's pop him behind, Good. Good. And now I'm going to go down. So, breath out, up I come. I can come a little bit higher. And now, breath out, up into tabletop, and let's go again. So, and not moving through my hips. And not moving through my hips. So if this felt better, this might be something to help yourself while you're strengthening. And I actually feel like I can feel my abs a little bit more. Yeah? So when I send that leg long, I want to do it through, send that leg long through my glutes. Send that leg long through my glutes. And of course I'm very strong through tum, tum, tum. So give me another 2. And we're not moving through the hips right now. Send long. And let's go into double toe taps while we're here. And up into a chest position or a chest lift as we're going into double leg, single leg lift. So double leg lift. Okay, and we're dipping our toes into a puddle of water. Got a nice shake happening. Give me another 6, 5, 4. Remember, if you don't need the assist, guys, just come up into a chest lift. And got a great shake going on. And 2 more. 1 more. And take it down and relax. So good, guys. Now let's go into some oblique work, so sides of the waist. Come up into your chest lift, whether you've got your assist behind you or not, and then playing opposite elbow to opposite hip and back. So it's really important that we don't move through the hips. So opposite elbow, opposite hip and back. Very small movement, guys. And because I've got my assist, I don't move very far. Good. And opposite elbow, some more from underneath your arm. Give me another 2 on each side. So I really want to feel that across, very small movement, across, across, and now our pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's more underarm. And go back. Good. So I actually feel like that ball behind my back is allowing me right now, while I'm still really working to strengthen my lower abdominals and define that connection or refine it, helping me to get in there a little bit more. But you don't want to be so high like you would be here. Don't think so. Yeah, don't want to be. You could still. 1, 2. Yeah, you could. I just think that's a lot easier. But you can use any one of your balls, yeah, to go into the chest lift and the oblique exercise we just did and the single leg prep and be nice and supported. The whole point is to keep it out of your neck, guys. Yeah? So your choice of balls with that. Bunny hop, and now we want lots of abdominal connection, rolling our lower back or causing our lower back to roll so that we're rolling and not dumping, which I'm really prone to do. So lots of abdominals and then 100% abdominals. Lots of abdominals, then 100% abdominals. Lots of abdominals, then 100% abdominals. Lots of abdominals, then 100% abdominals to pull us up. And my whole point of this exercise, or my whole focus, is to use enough momentum to assist my abs while they strengthen over this period while I'm getting back into my Pilates workouts, and not to strain through my neck. We can even start to go into an open leg rocker prep, yeah, where we're coming back and up to a tabletop position, but in a seated position. Lower abdominals, round your lower back, and you come back up. So I relax the abdominals 80%, but enough to roll, and here it's all about abs. And 2 more. I want this all to be in my abs, not in my neck, and underneath my arms, controlling my shoulders, and then I can come up into a seated position. Whew, feels good. We're just warmed up and ready to go, guys. Let's go into side to side. So let's sit up nice and tall, thinking length in between ribs and hips, and my upper back is coming up against an imaginary brick wall. Alrighty, I am checking my ears and of course sending arms out to the sides of the room. So guys, I need lots of glutes here, crease of the bottom, booty, 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 and length between rib cage and hips. So lots of tummy, quite a bit of booty, sending those knees away but drawing my rib cage into an imaginary wall, and I'm using the muscles up underneath my arms and reaching out to the sides of the room, So just sit here for 4 breaths, breathing up underneath your arms, relaxing through the shoulders and making sure your abs are pushing that breath out, but you're reaching for sides of the room. You're not gripping through hip flexors, and you're not letting that rib cage come forward. It's up against an imaginary wall. Guys, it's hard to just sit and make sure that you've got activation through underneath the arms and length coming out through those fingertips, and your back's not coming up away from that imaginary wall, and you're not gripping through your hip flexors because of your abs and your tummy connection. It can be hard work. You've breathed 4 times. Now it's breath in to tip, 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 like you're tipping over in a box. Good, good. Shoulders aren't coming up though. I imagine a ball up underneath my arms so I'm not collapsing through my rib cage and I'm not pressing into that floor. Good. So that's why we always imagine that ball's there, guys. Breath in. It's 80% abs, 80% pelvic floor here. And then up, up, up I come. And lengthening through the tummy, and it was 100% abs then. And then I'm imagining I'm coming up, and so nice and long through the arms, 80% abs here. And as I come up and over, I always imagine that ball because I don't want to collapse into that underarm, guys, as I'm performing this exercise. And I'm always looking to send that knee away. Good, good, good. It's a breath in, 80% abs here. Breath out, 100% abs. Breath in, oh, I've come forward. So I have to imagine that back up against that imaginary wall. It was too easy. That's how I knew I was cheating. Got to lengthen more between ribs and hips. Need more tummy. Need that booty on. Need that tip, tip, tip. 80% abs here, guys. Then this is light as a feather. Light as a feather, getting a little bit heavier, but not 100%. I'm using abs, I'm using my lower body here as well. And breath in, tipped over. And 100% abs. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in, 80% abs. Breath out. Now let's get a little bit more of a stretch. Toys are misbehaving. Breath in, and we are going to collapse as we lengthen away to get a stretch here, guys. I want to feel that stretch all through that side of the body, so I want to send that knee away. Good. 80% abs, 100% abs. That was a bit harder. Breath in, and let's get a nice stretch through this side of the body. Send that knee away. Good, good. Breath in, breath out. So it was harder for me because, of course, in the stretch, I went over further. Now, lengthen out through those fingertips, lengthen out through those fingertips. And guys, you can do this with or without balls. So we're just going to waken up those muscles, up underneath our arms. And keep that ball there so it doesn't misbehave. Don't misbehave. Gonna reach out to the sides of the room, and I don't want this to happen. No. Arms down. Good. Back up against an imaginary wall. More tummy. And you're gonna give me tiny little circles for 20, and we're gonna do each side. So as you're doing those circles, you're imagining length between ribs and hips. You're imagining some booty squeezing. You're imagining you're lengthening out from underneath the arms and your back is against that imaginary brick wall. Your arm bones are like you stirring a spoon in a teacup. Okay, you're imagining that very bone, okay, moving around in the shoulder pocket, and let's turn it the other way. From underneath the arms, reaching out from underneath the arms, not letting the arms come forward, not collapsing through ribs and hips. Good, good. Lengthening between ribs and hips. Tummy's on, and most importantly, back is up against an imaginary wall, and it's teacup circles. Give me another 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it down. So that would have been fine, guys, if you just had your arms out and you were doing them. Oh, that feels lovely, doing it like that. Okay, the most important thing is the shoulder came down because you're using your lats to pull that shoulder down whilst you're reaching out to the sides of the room. Yeah? And you weren't letting your arms fall forward, you weren't coming forward through your rib cage. So we just woke up all those muscles around the scapula, okay, your rotator cuff, and up underneath your arms, yeah? So your lats, we just woke them all up. Let's go into a little bit of rotator cuff pulls. So we're going to hold our band just so, going to hold it in place with my thumbs, and I'm not going to let my wrists do this, okay? I'm going to imagine my wrists can't bend in that direction. My wrists are in line with my elbows, and my elbows are glued to the sides of my waist. And now we're going to breathe out, take those fingertips out to the sides of the room, and right now I'm envisioning the muscles that surround my lower scapula, so my lower shoulder blades. And breath in, come back. Let's do 10 of those. I always like to imagine that I'm trying to get a suntan on my underarms. So I'm just trying to angle my underarms up towards the ceiling. I'm slightly trying to draw my sternum, so my chest bone up towards the ceiling. But I'm not letting those elbows come away from my body. I'm relaxing through head, neck, and shoulders. I'm imagining that area around my lower scapula, so my lower shoulder blades, and I'm not going to let my wrists do that. They have to be in line with my forearms, in line with my forearms. So where am I feeling this? I want to feel a little bit underneath my arms, but I want to feel it around my lower shoulder blades. So I'm coming in a little bit more because I want to feel it a little more strongly. So I shorten the band to do that. And now give me another 5. Did I tell you Pilates instructors can't count? 3, 2, and 1. Good, and here we can go into our pulses. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Where is my rib cage? Is it up against my imaginary wall? Are my shoulders drawn down? Am I bending my wrists out in a way I don't want to? Where am I feeling this burn? If you're not feeling it around your lower shoulder blades, you're not putting it into the right place. You're not working into the right place, guys. Give me another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and ooh. So you should have really been burning around your rotator cuff, okay, around your shoulder blade area. Now, if you were feeling it up here and up here predominantly, then we needed to stop, or you need to stop and adjust your position. I don't mind if this is quite easy for you, okay, if you don't have a lot of tension on the band, as long as you're working into the right place. So now, let's go into backs of the arms. I'm going to come up to my knees, guys. Okay, take that TheraBand behind. And I'm going to bring my hands quite close together and then hold and draw the TheraBand tight. So one hand is just here at the base of my spine and the other hand is up here. Now, it's all about my shoulder or my arm bone going into my shoulder pocket. So I want my shoulders to be nice and even. On the breath out, I'm going to send that arm away. So now I'm going to turn around. So, send the arm away. Now here I think, elbow just higher than my shoulders. and wrist above. Elbow just higher than my shoulders and wrist above. Now to try and keep my shoulders nice and even, I'm drawing down from underneath my right shoulder through the muscles there as I'm sending that arm away. I'm drawing down underneath that arm of my right shoulder as I'm sending that arm away. So wrist ends up just above, elbow ends up just above shoulder, and I'm not going to be letting my arm bone come out of my shoulder pocket like that. The arm bone has to come back, so I'm using these muscles here, guys, underneath this arm. The arm bone has to be coming back into the shoulder pocket. Yes, I want nice even shoulders. And we do not let that elbow fall downwards. So yeah, about 20 of these. For me, it takes me about 10 to get it into the right spot. Okay, feeling a nice burn. Give me another 3, 2, 1. Now let's pulse it out for 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is your arm coming back into your shoulder pocket? Are you feeling this just up underneath the arm in your traps? Are you feeling it into your upper, Are you feeling this up underneath your arm, so in your tricep? Oh, and burn. So that's where we want to feel it, in our tricep, guys. So bicep, tricep. That's where we want to feel it. Let's take it behind. Good, good. Got a bit mixed up then. Oh, okay. So quite close together. And think about your shoulder alignment. Good. And hip alignment. Now elbow is over shoulder. Arm bone coming back into shoulder pocket. Good. So it's a bit harder for me on this side to get the correct alignment. And it's going to take me about 10 to get into the right spot, I think, which is backs of the arms, the tricep. That's where we want to feel this. Oh yeah. So arm bone coming back into shoulder pocket as I send that arm away. Arm bone coming back into shoulder pocket as I send that arm away. Arm bone coming back into shoulder pocket using the muscles up underneath the right arm to control that. Thinking about shoulders, trying to keep them nice and aligned. Make sure you get your 20 here. That's it. Thereabouts, going straight in my eyes. That's it. And give me another 3, 2, 1. Here are our pulses. Triceps, 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 triceps. That's right. Arm bone coming back into shoulder pocket. Use those muscles underneath your arms. Give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Feel that burn. 3, 2, 1. Oh, give me another 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, just in case we did a little less on that side than we did on that side. I think we might have. So make sure that you're nice and even in your work. Now let's go into hug a tree. So we're going to take this. Oh, Jess, where's your rib cage at? Bring it back, because I was starting to go forward a little bit then. Good, good. So you can sit cross-legged, guys, or you can sit like I'm sitting, whatever's more comfortable for you. And here we come into placing this around bikini strap area or heart monitor area for a man. And now shoulders, draw them down. Connect with those muscles underneath your arms. Draw, draw back through scapula, so back through rib cage and shoulder blade area, up against an imaginary wall, and we're going to reach forward and open. So here, I imagine I'm trying to get a suntan on underneath my arms. I'm trying to draw my shoulders down while slightly drawing sternum up to pubic bone, and breath in, breath out. Breath in, shoulders are down. Breath out, offer your chest up towards the ceiling, but we're not arching through that back. No, but we're still trying to draw sternum, your chest up towards the ceiling. Use tummy here. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Now guys, if you can, let's start to lengthen the legs out in front of us. Let's start to sit in a position where we can send those legs nice and long. It's a breath in, breath out. So hopefully you are warmed up in the backs of the legs enough that you can squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Good. And be able to send those legs long without gripping through. your hip flexors, because we've stretched out the hip flexors really well today. We've turned on the glutes and we've woken up backs of the legs. So now we can start to do our work in a seated position with the legs long. Breath in, out. Offer that sternum up towards the ceiling. Try and glue your legs together, inner thighs. Imagine that back up against an imaginary wall. You don't want to come forward. Good, so I'm going to sit side on here. Glue those inner thighs together, sitting up tall, tall, tall. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, out. In, out. In, out. So I'm working those muscles up underneath my arms and into my upper back. I'm having to do a lot of work up underneath, crease at the bottom. Yeah. And sending those heels out to the sides of the room. It's taking lots of work between ribs and hips to keep me nice and stable. And then I take this around those legs. We're going to do a little bit of rowing. So just bring it back and drawing the shoulders down. Back. Now when I come up, I want to think even taller. I've got a string attached to the top of my head. And nice and long. I'm not gripping through the fronts of my thighs. And guys, if you were, you could go into that position, okay? Because it can take a while to get yourself to stop gripping through fronts of the thighs. But for the rest of us, just think about coming up even taller as you draw those hands towards the chest. Imagine that string through the top of your head. Nice connection through your abdominals, keeping you nice and tall, and you're breathing up underneath the rib cage. Give me another 10, 9. So slower is harder, guys. Slower is harder. Sending those heels away. Use those muscles up at the crease of the bottom. Think about lengthening through your spine. And 2 and 1. So the alternative to rowing with the TheraBand, placing it around our legs, sitting up nice and tall and going into the rowing exercise, would be legs straight out in front, sitting up nice and tall, drawing in from just above the pubic bone and using your arm weights or maybe a couple of cans of soup, and you would be rowing. So sending it nice and long from underneath the arms, drawing the shoulders down, more tummy, drawing my chest towards the other side of the room, and just using the muscles underneath my arms and my surrounding scapula, particularly below the scapula, so below my shoulder blades, to perform the rowing exercise, yeah? And I'd want you doing double the amount that we did with the TheraBand. So we do about 20 with the TheraBand. So I'd want you doing about 40, yeah? If you're using the arm weights, so around up to 1 kilo, but I do think 1 kilo is probably a little bit heavy, guys, probably 0.5 kilos. That's probably what these toning balls, Pilates balls, weigh. Sitting nice and tall, imagining you've got a string coming out the top of your head, pulling you long. You're using the muscles underneath crease of the bottom, also to send you nice and tall. And you're using those to stop yourself gripping through hip flexors. So you're reaching out tall, long, but you're drawing that arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as you're doing it. Long, but drawing the arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as you're doing it. And after you've done about 40 of those, guys, it's about the equivalent to 20 with the TheraBand. Good. And now we're going to go down into a roll back and come up into a roll up. So we're starting with our abdominals. We're setting those legs nice and long. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, soft chin to chest. It's that tummy working. And we sit up nice and tall. So this is just the prep for roll-ups before we did roll backs, and I'm hoping that I called them a roll back. We've done the TheraBand portion, so now I'm going to show you the alternative with the hand weights. So rotator cuff pulls would be sitting up tall up against your imaginary wall, and you would be gluing your elbows into the sides of the rib cage. Into the sides of the rib cage. You're drawing your sternum up towards the ceiling as you come out. You're not going to let this wander. So in order to get this into the right place, I imagine the muscles around bottom of my scapula, lower back, and this is actually working really well to get right into the muscles that I want by thinking about where I want to connect, making sure my elbows are snug with my body, and making sure that my back is up against my imaginary wall. I'm squeezing through my glutes just a little bit, lengthening between ribs and hips. And I'm going to need to do double the amount with the balls that I did with the TheraBand to get a burn of any kind, yeah? So instead of 20 of these, I would do 40, yeah? And then you can hold it out and go into little pulses, just making sure that you focus on around the bottom of the scapula. And again, you'd want to pulse for about 50, okay, to get any kind of burn going on there. Unless you're feeling a burn, and that's fantastic, yeah? All right, so to go into the tricep exercise, again, arm bone back in shoulder pocket, elbow just higher than shoulder, arm to the side, and off we go. And I'm drawing the arm bone back into the shoulder pocket, arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as I send that ball away. Arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as I send that arm away. Arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as I send that arm away. So what's most important here is I do not drop through my elbow, I keep it high, but I also do not come forward through my shoulder. Going lovely and long, and it's slow and controlled movements, JCAT. It's slow and controlled movements. Drawing that arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as I extend that arm nice and long, starting to get a nice burn. So if I did 20 with the TheraBand, I'm looking at 30 to 40 with a little can of soup or half a kilo weight. If you've got a 1 kilo weight, guys, that is quite heavy for these sorts of exercise. We are looking for increased reps so that we get a nice sculpted body, but we do not create too much bulk. Yeah, and once we've hit the right number, go into little pulses, yeah, for about 20. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Where's my elbow at? Am I drawing my arm back into my shoulder pocket? Nice and controlled. Beautiful. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and swap it over. Keep going to hold my imaginary TheraBand. And stacking that elbow, drawing the arm bone back into shoulder pocket, and off I go. Off I go. So I'm thinking about my elbow, where's it at? Nice and controlled, and I'm dragging that arm bone back into shoulder pocket as I send it long. Drawing my arm bone back into shoulder pocket as I send it long. Drawing my elbow back into shoulder pocket as I send it along. As I send it long. So I want to keep that elbow high, keep that arm bone drawing back into my shoulder pocket, and I'm doing that by thinking draw down from underneath my lats. Draw down from underneath my lats. Draw down from underneath my arms. So that muscle there. Get that elbow a little higher, Jess. Drag the arm bone back into the shoulder pocket. Good. Thinking about the muscles in the back of the arms. Where are my ears at? Can't take off the ears. Forward, forward forward with more control. So I've got less control on my left arm, less control. Probably need about 20 or 30 of those, guys. And now we're going to go into our pulses. Give me another 4, 3, 2, and 1. And our pulses, here we go. For again, about 20, 30 maybe. Let's see how we go. Get that elbow up, Jessicat. Want to feel the burn in the back of my arms. Pulses, Jessicat, pulses. Good. Pulse it. Back of the arm, back of the arm, back of the arm. Keep the elbow high. Draw the arm bone back into shoulder pocket. Give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring it down. Hopefully you could feel that in the back of the arm. If you felt it more here, take a break and then come back into it. And of course, we're going to now go into hug our tree. So legs are drawn nice and forward. We're sitting up nice and tall, and it's a breath in, come forward. Breath out, nice and drawing our chest up towards the ceiling. My back's up against an imaginary wall and my tummy's on. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. So I'm working from underneath my arms. In Pilates, we're always obsessed with underneath our arms. Always working to draw the shoulders down. Here, I'm imagining I'm trying to get a suntan up underneath my arms. I'm offering my chest up towards the ceiling, but I'm not arching through my back, guys. Give me another 6. Glue those inner thighs together. Sit up taller through crease of the bottom. Not gripping through the fronts of my thighs. Using those muscles that surround the scapula. And 2 more. 1 more. And nice and tall. Sitting up nice and tall. And now think. Imprinting, guys. Come up through your pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, round your lower back. Send those heels to the other sides of the room. Try to do this as controlled as you can through your abdominals. Breath in to prepare, breath out. Sternum towards pubic bone, soft chin to chest. I'm trying to keep my neck as safe as possible while I work through my abdominals and I sit up into a tall position, sending those legs away, making sure I've got some connection at crease of the bottom. Breath in to prepare, breath out. Lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. I'm coming 100% through pelvic floor. Here I'm trying to control myself, coming down to the mat, sending those legs to the other side of the room, using my lower abdominals. Here I breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lots of abs. I start to draw up through underneath the arms and tummy gets me up, 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 up as I focus on the muscles. And here, guys, people don't realize this with rollbacks, but it's not just about the tummy. You need inner thighs and you need booty, booty, booty to assist you in coming up, particularly when we start to get rid of the TheraBand in these exercises. So, and we do them unassisted. Sitting up nice and tall, breath out, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. I've got some crease of the booty going on as well. Lower tummy, I'm trying to control myself coming down, squeezing those legs together. It's a breath in to prepare. Breath out, soft chin to chest, tummy. Here is where I want to work. Squeeze those inner thighs together, tummy, glutes. And I'm assisted on coming back up and over. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, nice and slow. Send those legs away. Glue those inner thighs together. Good, good. And down we come. Breath in to prepare. Breath out, glue those inner thighs together. Lower, 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 tummy, control it. Send those legs away. Send those legs away. Good, good. Now, an alternative to using the TheraBand in your roll back prep, roll up prep, not roll backs, so that we can use just the string or the tie rather for a dressing gown. So you just sort of wind it around your hands, sit up nice and tall here, imagining a straight spine, using some tummy, using those muscles up underneath the crease of the bottom, string popping out the top of my head, and you can just let go of that tension as you go down, thinking lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, send those legs away and glue those inner thighs together. Lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. No strain through the neck. Now it's a breath in to prepare up underneath the arms. Breath out, soft chin to chest, but the first thing that you turned on was your abs. Then using the muscles underneath the arms, glue those inner thighs together, and you just come back up, assisting yourself with the tie. Okay, for your dressing gown, you sit up nice and tall, lengthen those heels away, glue those inner thighs together, and come down again, imagining you've been punched in the lower tummy. You're rounding through that lower tummy, you're rounding through that lower tummy, you're rounding through, and you can even sort of let go so your arms slide or your hands slide along that tie. Now think, inner thighs, and booty as well. You're really going to need your inner thighs and booty as you start to master. Breath in to prepare, breath out. The roll up exercise unassisted. Here it's all about abs, booty, crease of the bottom. Abs, booty, crease of the bottom, and inner thighs. And sit up nice and tall. Breath out, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. See, I've let go of my tie because I can. Good, good. And then the full exercise would be breath out, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, crease of the bottom, tummy, 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 tummy. But I don't want you to do that yet until you're ready. And really, guys, I don't want you to do that until you can feel some inner thigh and some booty in that exercise, because it's so easy to do that exercise with brute strength with these suckers and with our neck. So if we're doing it this way and we're really focusing on 100% through lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, breath in to prepare, drop the pelvic floor, drop the tummy into the sides of the rib cage, and breath out up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, draw sternum to pubic bone, and you just use your TheraBand or your dressing gown tie to pull you over from underneath the arms, and then sit up nice and tall. Sit up nice and tall. Let's do some rotation to warm ourselves up. So, arms, let's place them together, elbows towards one another, and hands, good, good, and breath out. You are rotating sides of the waist. You are not sending the neck in a direction further than your hands. Breath in, try to go around a little bit more back to center. Breath out, you want to come around through sides of the waist. Breath in, I want you to go a little bit further. Breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, try to go further, sides of the waist. Okay, you're going to want to do this through your upper body, because that's what I'm trying to do right now, and I'm trying to stop it and think, sides of the waist, Jessicat, and back. Breath out. Sides of the waist, Jessicat. I like to try and do everything with brute upper body strength, and then I completely forgo my abs. And back. One more on each side, guys. Hopefully I'm even. If you're not, do it. And now let's take the arms long. Shoulders down, touching sides of the room. Breath out. Try to go a little bit further. But I do not want, Jessicat, that hand coming further than where the shoulder is. So this encourages me to move with my waist. Instead of, and sit up tall, I have to center my rib cage up against that imaginary wall. Every time I come to center, I'm lengthening between ribs and hips, and I've got some glutes. Guys, if you're gripping through here, fold the legs underneath and go into this exercise with your legs underneath you and out of a cross leg position. Breath out and further with my waist. So not like that, it's that. Good. One more on each side. Send fingertips out to the sides of the room because I was starting to feel it in my upper traps and I want to feel it underneath my arms. Where's my rib cage at? Good, and relax it down. Now we're going to go into our saw, okay? So we're going to saw our little toe off with our little finger, okay? So we're going to go into deeper rotation to prepare for saw. We're going to send one leg long. I want you to think about where your hips are on that mat. Sit up taller, send that leg away. I want ankle in line with knee, yeah? So ankle in line with knee. Where are my hips at? Sitting up nice and tall, length between ribs and hips. And I want you to creep your little fingers over, and if you can, hold on to your foot. If not, holding on to the leg is perfectly fine. I want to scoop through lower abdominals because I just let my whole tummy out because it thinks it can go on holiday, and it can't. So I am going to get into a nice lengthened position where I can breathe for 6 breaths. Up into that upper rib cage and reach from lower abdominals, and it's about my chest coming to the floor and me sending the heel away. Lower abdominals and chest comes to the floor and I'm sending the heel away. So I'm still active through crease of the bottom, backs of the legs. Lower abdominals, reaching, sending that heel nice and long, more abs please, J-Cat. Nice and long, lower abdominals, melting my way down to the mat, thinking about where my hip bones are. Give me another 3 breaths. Up underneath the arms, reaching, lower tummy, that's where I'm focusing. Last one here. And nice and long, and out we come. Other side, that feels so good. Send it long, lift through the chest. Where are my hips at? Long leg. Ankle in line with knee, and creep, and over. Good. Hold on to where's comfortable. Make sure you're relaxing through those shoulders. So at first we start a little bit high because it takes us time to melt down to the mat. About 6 breaths where on every breath out, you're melting through the chest towards your leg and you're sending that heel away. You're melting through the chest and you're sending that heel away. Feel a nice stretch through sides of the body. You're melting through the chest towards your legs. It's not about the neck getting there. No, it's not. More tummy, please, J-Cat. Breathing up into the sides of my rib cage whilst I reach. Last 2 breaths, guys. I told you Pilates instructors cannot count. And slowly bring it up. Good, and we've lengthened. So now we can take those legs out to sides of the room and we can sit up tall. Oh, so good. And now we're going to go into saw. So I'll just bring them a little bit closer towards one another. Arms come out to sides of the room. Lots of tummies needed here. Lots of booty to stop myself clenching in my hip flexors. I breathe in and I reach for little finger going across my little toe. And it's about my chest coming towards my leg, not my head. Other arm goes out behind me. Breath in, I stack that spine but stay in rotation. Breath out, I come to center, send those arms long. Breath in, breath out. Saw that little toe off with the little finger. Chest long. Breath in, snaking that spine out, but staying in rotation. Breath out, back to center. Send those legs away, sit up taller. If you were gripping in, hip flexors, you just come up into a knees bent position, guys. And breath in, breath out. Reach a little bit further if you can. Breath in, and I stack. Breath out, back to center. Breath in, breath out. Feels so good. Chest coming to the floor. Breath in, breath out. 2 more on each side. Breath in, breath out. Reach, reach, reach the chest. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, breath out. Reach the chest, not the neck. Breath in, breath out. Now I can't remember what side I started on, so let me just finish off on this side. Whoa, reaching, and up, and then I come back to center. That was sore. Now I'm classing that as sore prep because I'm not able to go into that as deeply as I'd like. But sore prep really is up on your heels. So I want you to be nice and comfortable as you're doing it as far as your spinal alignment. But guys, I really want you to watch out, even if you've got the knees up. This is a straight back, but so often I'll see myself on camera and I think this is straight. So that's not acceptable. In between the shoulder blades, sitting up nice and tall, using crease at the bottom and a string attached to the top of my head going taller. It takes a lot of work to sit up nice and tall and actually be straight through my spine. And I wouldn't be surprised if I look on camera, guys, and I find I'm actually not sitting up tall enough. So it's that lengthening those legs away through the heels, lengthening up through crease at the bottom, and imagining that back up against an imaginary wall and string attached to through the top of your head. So that's what you want, whether you're in this position and I'm asking you to sit up tall before you go into a roll back, yeah? Or I'm asking you to sit up nice and tall in a legs crossed position. This is tall. This is not. Okay? That is not. And where's the neck at? Get that neck back in line with the rest of the back. So that was sore prep. So now we're going to go into our 4-point kneeling work. So we're going to have a little ball and we're going to place it on the small of our back. So that's going to stop me rocking and rolling. I'm going to imagine a hand in between my shoulder blades, so I'm pushing that floor away and I'm thinking knees underneath hips. Let's start with single arm lift. So on the breath out, I slide that arm forward and I draw it up, bringing that arm back into my shoulder pocket as I send it long. Breath in and out. Breath in, breath out. Breath in, bring it long. Arm going back into shoulder pocket as you bring it up. Breath in, breath out, slide it under. Breath in, lots of work going through the opposite abs, the opposite obliques, guys, as I bring that arm up. Send it nice and long, but drawing the arm back into the shoulder pocket. Breath in and out. Breath in and out. Breath in and out. Breath in and out, nice and long. Breath in and out. Last one, in. Even though I'm reaching my fingertips long, I'm drawing the arm bone back into the shoulder pocket. And in and out. Now let's go. Opposite leg. Breath in, send it long. Breath out, take that heel right up to the other side of the room. Other side of the room, other side of the room. Breath in, bring it back. Breath out, slide it in. Make sure I'm not winging through my shoulder blades. I feel like I just was. And up as high as I can take it. As high as I can take it without moving my hips. It's a breath in and slide it back. Draw up against that imaginary hand behind or in between your shoulder blades. Breath in, flex the foot. Breath out. as high as you possibly can without moving your ball. Breath in and out. Breath in. Breath out. Higher, higher, higher. Making those muscles in the backs of my legs work hard, but not taking it so high that I would lose control of my my pelvis. As high as I can, reaching that leg away, reaching that leg away. Breath in and bring it back. In, flex, high, 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 as high as I possibly can. Send it longer, longer, longer. Oh, and it feels so good. We're going to do that on both. And longer, longer, longer leg. That's it. And not losing our ball. Longer, longer leg, but not losing our ball. Got another 2 on each side. Longer leg, longer leg, longer leg. Longer leg. Bring that arm bone back into the shoulder pocket as you think nice and stable through the hips. Longer leg, longer leg. Can I bring it up higher without moving my hips? Pushing through all parts of the hand so that we're not hurting our wrists here. And last one. Good. And we forgot our pulses, guys. So hand down here and let's send that leg longer. Longer and higher, and 20 pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Swap it over so we've got our pulses on the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So guys, if you came up too high, that's what would happen. So you have to learn to take that leg as far back as you can rather than height to get it working where we want to and keep the hip complex nice and stable. So that's our 4-point kneeling series done and dusted. 2, rest pose, 1 breath up underneath the arms. And breath out. We're going to walk the hands forward and come straight down into arms to the sides, back extension ready. And heels are going to come out to the sides of the room. Good, good. So now I've got to turn on the muscles underneath my arms because I don't want this. No elbows out to the sides of the room. I'm using the muscles underneath my arms. Good, good. To keep those insides of my arms snug to the body. Yeah? So my shoulders are off the floor because of the muscles underneath my arms and my upper back causing them to be so in order to get them to be straight and snug to my body. I'm using the muscles in the back of my neck and even my abs right now to stop my nose crunching into the floor. Good, good. Now on the breath in, I want you to reach, 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 like somebody's pulling those arms away, somebody's pulling those arms away, somebody's pulling those arms away. But don't let your shoulder blades wing, guys. No winging shoulder blades. I want you to actually draw your shoulder blades to the sides of the room whilst you reach behind you, whilst you reach behind you, whilst you reach behind you. Shoulder blades to the sides of the room whilst you reach behind you. And now keep that being pulled by the fingertips sensation as you return them to the mat. Good, good. Nose isn't squashing into the floor because I'm using the muscles in the back of my neck. I'm using the tummy muscles. Are my hands nice and close to the body, and am I droning down from underneath the arms? Reach, reach. Somebody's pulling those arms away, but are you winging through the shoulder blades? Or could you put a hand on your shoulder blade and feel that that is all flush? or is it winging out? You should feel, if you're thinking about drawing those shoulder blades to the sides of the room, drawing your shoulders down and using the muscles underneath your arms to pull your hands away like somebody's pulling them, and come back down. Arms are snug to the body. It's a breath in. Somebody's pulling those arms, pulling those arms. You're just about to draw your chest off the mat before you come back down. Last one. Breath in to reach, and now I'm going to straight arm. Somebody's pulling me, pulling me, pulling me. My tummy's working hard here, guys, but my lower back is completely relaxed while I only use the muscles from my bra strap upwards to draw my chest away from the floor. Somebody's pulling those arms even more. Don't let those shoulder blades wing together, and back down I come. It's a breath in. Somebody's pulling those arms away, using those muscles underneath the arms, using tummy here, but only using the muscles in the back from bra strap upwards, bra strap upwards, bra strap upwards. Imagine a hand in between your shoulder blades and you're pulling your upper back towards it. You can reach a little bit further. Straight arms, they're not allowed to be bent, guys. And down we come. Give me another 2. So the arms aren't turned off here. I'm still reaching away from underneath my arms. Still using my tummy here, having to breathe from up underneath my arms. Breath in and back. So good. And here we're going to try and touch our fingertips together, or our thumbs rather. And 1, 2, 3, only using the muscles underneath my arms and from my bra strap upwards, bikini strap upwards. Trying to reach those hands even further away, and not use my lower back. Good. And relax it down. So good, guys. Now we are going to take our hands in front of us, create a little bit of a diamond, and let's get our ball and place that between our knees. So in place of the ball, we could pop a couple of towels there you go, in between our legs. Yeah? So that when we were doing this, reaching those knees away, using your tummy, reaching those knees away, you could do it with a couple of towels. Reaching those knees away, and squeeze in our thighs, and down. Reaching those knees away, and squeeze in our thighs, and down. So guys, if you don't have a ball to use, you can use things like a couple of rolled up towels. So, hand diamond here. Good. So here, I'm going to think about turning on my booty. So I have a big bum, but it's a lazy bum. Yeah, I've mentioned that before, haven't I, guys? So me, picking up through crease of the bottom, really hard to do. So I have to do things like heels, draw my heels up towards my booty, or flex my feet. Yeah, so here, I'm going to work my inner thighs by just squeezing that ball in little pulses. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's also think about the knees going towards the other side of the room. So I want to stack my ankles above my knees, and I'm doing little squeezes here, guys, little squeezes. I'm also thrusting my pubic bone into the floor just that little bit so I can get that abdominal connection that I need. So I'm going to just squeeze it for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm going to lengthen my knees to the other side of the room and squeeze that ball at the same time. And now bring it down. So I'm going to do that for 10. So, breath out. Draw knees to the other side of the room and squeeze that ball together. So I really want to feel this right at the crease of the bottom. Good. And down. And breath out. Reach those knees to the other side of the room and squeeze that ball. And down. Give me another 6 of those, guys. Send those knees to the other side of the room. Tummy pushing into that floor. to maintain a nice connection through the abs, and squeeze. The slower you do this, the better. Lengthen those knees away, squeeze that ball, and down. Give me another 2, and 1. Really starting to cramp, so I'm starting to connect there properly. And now I'm going to hold it up, sending those knees to the other side of the room, squeezing. I'm hating this exercise, absolutely hate it, guys. And now I'm going to think 20, frig it all, 20 pulses. 1, where I squeeze, squeeze, and squeeze through crease of the bottom. Squeezing the ball together and squeezing through crease of the bottom. Sending those knees to the other side of the room. So good. I've still got another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down it comes. Oh, so good. And now we're going to let go of that ball. We're going to come back up into our 4-point kneeling. Let's come through a rest pose first. Breathe in, up underneath the arms. Breath out into 4-point kneeling. And so push-ups, I like to cross one leg over the other. And so I see a lot of people doing push-ups like that. Hands out to the sides of the room. Okay, so I'm doing little prep push-ups, okay? Knees down on the floor, and that's because I'm strengthening and I'm still at a basic level at this moment while my body is strengthening. But I'm going to send those elbows out behind me. I'm going to push into every part of my hands and push up, up, up underneath the arms. I'm not going to let my elbows wing to the sides of the room as I'm doing this. They have to go behind me, and I want to press in each part of my hand. What are my abs doing while I'm doing this? What are my elbows doing? Where's my neck at? What muscles am I feeling? That's what I'm thinking as I'm doing these exercises. So I always go for a set of, say, 3, 6, or 8, guys. Always be aware of where your elbows are at, and if you're putting too much unnecessary strain on your wrists because you're not pressing into every part of your hand. Okay? So elbows behind you is a lot harder than elbows out to the sides of the room. And we want to be using those muscles in our upper back. Come down into rest pose. And our lats. Okay, so everything's about underneath the arms in Pilates. We want to be drawing those shoulders down. And we want to strengthen along the bra strap area, in between the shoulder blades, through rhomboids if we can. And we don't want it all going into our upper traps or winging out to the sides so that we can do a really great looking push-up but be working into the wrong places and perhaps causing strain. And go into another back extension exercise. Keep those heels out to the sides of the room though. Keep lengthening those arms. Good, good. And come up, up, up into back extension. And if you want to, you can bring the arms forward and feel how that feels through your lower back. Some more tummy is needed there, and then back. So I want you to keep those heels out to the sides of the room. I want you to keep the abs on. I want you to use those muscles in between your shoulder blades to lengthen those arms away. Now I want you to be able to bring the arms forward and feel how that goes more into the lower back, and you have to use more tummy and more booty. And back you come. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And hands come forward. More tummy, stop it going into your lower back. So I'm not letting us go into swimming yet, because I want you to master using your abs and your upper back without going into your lower back. And down you come. Now we're going to go into, you're going to come up into plank 2. You're going to send that floor away, slight bend through those arms to stop yourself from hurting through your wrists. And you're going to walk your hands. So I'm going to come to the middle of the mat. Walk your hands towards your feet. Now here we're going to go into releve. So heels to the floor, up in onto the toes, up onto the toes, and down. up onto the toes. Now look, I'm sending my chest towards my knees when I come up onto the toes. Very important that I send my chest towards my knees, because otherwise that would happen. That would happen. That's no good. I want to use those muscles underneath my arms and in the center of my back to draw my chest towards the knees. Give me another one. And now, walk, walk, walk back. I'm going to shimmy a little bit to feel that nice stretch in my backs of my legs. Hands to the floor briefly. Breath out, up through pelvic floor. Lower abdominals, lower abdominals. You're trying to stack that vertebra and feel the connection up through crease of the bottom to bring yourself back. Between big toe, little toe and heel. They're my tripod points. So I'm trying to push that floor away. Trying to push that floor away, and imagine I've got a string pulling through the top of my head, pulling me tall. So you're pushing that floor away. Ankles are underneath knees, underneath hips. You're trying not to lock through the knees, but you just want to stand nice and tall and relaxing shoulders above the pelvis, and you've got your imaginary wall behind you. Let's start with some roll downs. Now we're only going to go halfway, guys, and we're going to make sure that our hip bones and pubic bone stay perfectly aligned, and we're going to keep that natural curve of our lower back. So we're going to try to hold and maintain a neutral pelvis and a neutral spine whilst we're doing this exercise. Good, good. So it's a breath in to prepare, breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, those muscles that would stop me from urinating. I'm trying to drag my chest over with my lower abdominals until I go as far as I can before I would move that pelvis. So don't want to be pushing out like that, guys. I want all of this to stay still. On the breath in, I try to reach up and over a barbed wire fence. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, and I stack that vertebra one segment at a time. Breath in to prepare, breath out. I come up through pelvic floor, those muscles just above my pubic bone. I'm drawing them in, and I'm trying to drag my sternum, my chest over towards my pubic bone. I gaze at my pubic bone. I breathe in and try and come up and over imaginary barbed wire fence. I still need lots of abs here, guys, so we've not let go of the abs. We're breathing into our upper rib cage. And on the breath out, I come up, and I stack that spine one vertebra at a time. What's the point of this exercise? To get a spine stretch. So if you don't feel a stretch in your lower back, you're not doing it right. That's the focus. How are we going to do that? We're going to get that stretch by keeping a neutral pelvis, hip bones, pubic bone perfectly aligned. Whilst we draw our sternum over towards our pubic bone, we're imagining the barbed wire fence because we're trying to fold ourselves in half without moving the lower body. That's how we get the stretch. Lots of abdominal connection, but your lower body must stay stable, must stay still. It can't come out like that. In to prepare. Up underneath my arms, so lateral breathing there. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. And breath in. I drop the pelvic floor slightly and then draw up and inside again as I reach for that floor. I'm gazing at my pubic bone. I'm relaxed through the head. And now I'm going to come up and over using lots of tummy until I come over as far as I can. Ooh, so feeling the stretch in the backs of my legs, waking up there. Still lots of abs, and where am I looking? Up to pubic bone, up to pubic bone. All right, guys, let's walk ourselves out, and we're going to go into plank 2. Good. Now that's where we're going to hold it just for a moment. Now I'm going to take you into plank 1. So that's when knees come down, hands come further forward, and I'm drawing my shoulders down. I'm drawing up through my pubic bone, up through my tummy, and I'm scooping my pubic bone up towards the ceiling. I want a straight back. I want a string attached to the top of my head pulling me long. I want to breathe up underneath my arms and have a slight bend in those arms to push that floor away. Now I'm really thinking about that area just above my pubic bone. I'm really thinking that breathing up underneath my arms and more tummy. So we're not arching and we're not scooping. We want a nice flat or long spine and lots of work underneath the arms, lots of work just above that pubic bone on those lower abdominals that are wrapping around the lower back. And we're pushing that floor away. And I want you to imagine a hand in between your shoulder blades. And I want you to push those muscles in between your shoulder blades up against that imaginary hand. So you're not winging out through your shoulder blades. You're actually drawing the muscles in between those shoulder blades up against an imaginary hand. Now you're going to walk yourself back, come into a rest pose. Draw the arm bones into the shoulder pockets, rest the head to the floor, breathe up into your rib cage now. More air into that upper rib cage. Get a nice stretch through those back muscles. And on the breath out, use your tummy to expel that air. Come up to 4-point kneeling. You're going to come up into plank 2. You're going to send that floor away, slight bend through those arms. Walk back. Hands to the floor briefly. Breath out, up through pelvic floor. Lower abdominals. You're trying to stack that vertebra and feel the connection up through crease of the body. Breath up into sides of the waist. Breath out. Come up and over, but what's bringing me there? Lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Guys, hold it in the halfway position. Thinking hip bones and pubic bone perfectly aligned. I'm relaxed through my neck. On the breath out here, where I stay here and come up and over my imaginary barbed wire fence, trying to give my lower back a stretch by sending the tailbone to the floor and my head up and over, but I'm doing it with my abs. Oh, hold on, I'm going to breathe in again into my rib cage, Jessicat, not tummy. Breath out, come all the way over, so your lower body would have moved there. And now we're going to walk our way out. And you can either be in plank 1, where knees came down to the floor and you walked forward and drew your pelvis up towards, thinking pubic bone up towards the ceiling, squeeze my bum. That's plank 1. And you draw the hands into a position where they're forward of where they would be in plank 2, but they're not too far forward that you can't get a good underarm connection. And remember, you've got that hand in the middle of your shoulder blades. So I'm now going to do plank 2, which is my favourite plank, and hands are directly underneath shoulders. That's what I tell myself. Heels to sides of the room, squeezing up through crease of the bottom, and I've got that imaginary hand in between my shoulder blades. That imaginary hand in between my shoulder blades. And breathing up into the sides of the waist, I'm thinking, send that head to the other side of the room, send my heels to the other side of the room. I've got connection in the backs of the legs, and I need more connection in tummy. And now, feet down, and into rest pose. I want you to feel how hard it is to breathe in more to the upper rib cage and expand those muscles in the upper back. Even more. One more. Good. And come up into 4-point kneeling. Now, send those legs long, back into plank 2, and string attached to the top of my head, heels going to the other side of the room. I have work going on, increase at the bottom. I'm trying to draw up more through my pelvic floor, and I come up into, I'm going to come to the middle of the mat here, guys. So just imagine I've walked my hands, because I've closed the space between my hands and my feet, and here I go into releve. So it's all about gazing up to my pubic bone, and the toes come up, but my chest comes to my legs, and down again. Yeah, my chest comes towards my knees, and I'm up on my toes and down again. I want to feel the muscles in between my shoulder blades and underneath my arms. One more. We do not let that happen, guys. We want that. That. And walk up. You'll see me shaking. And up through pelvic floor. Lots of abdominals. Lots of abdominals. Lots of abdominals. And I come back to a standing position. Give yourself a bit of a shimmy. Now we're going to go into plank 3. Plank 3. Here we come. It's the hardest, and it drives me crazy when I hear people talk about it as a regression. Come down onto your forearms, they say, because it gets it out of your wrists. It might do that, but it's no regression. It's the progression from plank 2, if you ask me. In the Pilates method that I learnt, they taught it as a regression, but I think it's one of the hardest ones to do properly. Let's see what you think. It's a breath in to prepare. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. I'm trying to scoop, and now I've come to the halfway point where hip bones and pubic bone are perfectly aligned. Let's imagine that barbed wire fence, and I'm trying to reach over to the fluffiest, cutest kitten I possibly can. Breath out. Let's go all the way down, so I just let go of that connection through backs of my legs, and I'm going to walk out onto the mat. Now, plank 3 is down onto your forearms and push that floor away. Push that floor away. So guys, I don't want to see you up like this. That is not a plank. That's a little dolphin bunny thing. So push through your forearms and imagine a hand in between your shoulder blades. In between your shoulder blades, and you're trying to push it away. You have a connection at the backs of your legs. Yes, you do. And you're pushing that floor away, and I want you to think, breathe up underneath the arms, but you've got lots of tummy, lots of just above the pubic bone. Give me another 2 breaths here. Push that floor away through your forearms, pushing against that imaginary hand between your shoulder blades. And knees down, walk yourself back into rest pose. Good. Here, straight into lateral breathing, sides of the rib cage. Breath out up through pelvic floor and expel that breath. You melt towards the floor, imagining somebody with a hand pushing that spine that way and upper spine the other way. Give me 2 more breaths. I want you to feel how hard it is to breathe in more to the upper rib cage and expand those muscles in the upper back even more. 1 more. Good. And come up. So going into our lateral work, where we're going to strengthen up glute med and maintain our position, neutral position, through our hip complex as we do that. So you can use rolled up towel or a ball to relax your head on as we come into our side position. So we want to stack our hips, and I want you to feel like you could fall forward or back because you're nice and stacked. We're going to bring knee in line with hip, in line with ankle, and send that leg nice and long. It's all about having a gap here, guys. There's a gap here, there's a gap here. It stays there at all times, and you maintain that length between hip and rib cage. It's not allowed to close as you raise that leg. Beautiful. Here we go. We want length through the waist as we flex that foot and bring that up as high as we possibly can without losing the length through our waist. And down it comes. We're going to do 20 of these as high as we possibly can, reaching to the other sides of the room and maintaining that lovely long waist on both sides. We're not going to let that leg sneak forward, and that lovely flex helps us to get into glute med that little bit more. If you're able to come up very high, check your waist. You'll be losing your nice lengthened waist because it's impossible to go right up high and maintain a long waist and stable hips. Give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, woo, getting the glute med face. 5, 4, 3, length J-cat, wake up that glute med, and 1. Woo, bring it in, give it a little bit of a tap. Good. Now we're going to send it long and we're going to come forward. So breath in, keep tailbone away, give it a little woo, and back. So we have to check that we're keeping a perfectly stable lower body while we're doing this. We want you to be like Lego man. You're able to move your legs without moving your pelvis. So here I have to really send that booty away and watch I don't lose sides of the waist and long. So good, and lift and long. And bring it in and lift and long. So good, guys. Watch the neck. You don't want any tension in the neck. I used to think I was the only person in the world that would do glute med exercises and actually put out my neck. So good. And give me another 5. And back. Breath out. So here, breath in, breath out on the hardest part of the exercise. Breath in and out. Last one. And out. And back. And relax. So once we are able to stay in that muscle a bit more, we'll be able to do more exercises with this, guys. But I really want you to focus on making sure glute med is doing that work. Yeah? Now we come into side plank. So stack those legs and you're going to come up, up, up. Good. Nice and controlled. Not letting the shoulder draw up and pushing that floor away. And you can see I'm wobbling back and forward because I'm in such a stacked position. Nice and long, nice and long. And we're going to do 10 of those. So as much as my hand might come down like this, guys, that's not where I'm putting my weight. It's all in the obliques. And I'm not rocking forward or back. And that's 4. And that's 5. It's coming from underneath the arm, underneath the arm. 6, coming up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. 7, really working through those obliques, keeping it out from our upper trap, working from underneath the arms. And last one here, up from underneath the arms. Let's go into 10 little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. Good, putting this to the side. Heads there. Good. All right, so stacked. Beautiful. Ankles in line with knees, in line with hips. And up we come, high as we possibly can. So this side's a little more uncomfortable for me because my hips are out. So this is the side that actually I condense more. I tend to lean on this side. So it's hard to stretch it out and get into my glute med work. But nonetheless, we're going to do another. We want to do 20 on this side, just like we did on the other side. And I think we did about 15 of the draw forward and lift up exercises. So give me another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And now we bring forward and up and back. So it's a lot harder on this side for me. Forward and up to keep the length. So I want that leg going long, but here I want my tailbone going to the other side of the room as I lift up. Good. So we're going to keep persevering. Yes, we are. We're not going to stop. We're going to keep our nice long waist. And up. And back. And forward and up. And back. And forward, send that tailbone to the other side of the room, J-Cat, and back. And forward, and up, but send that waist nice and long. I want another 10, J-Cat. And back. And back. Only 6 more, J. And up. Only 5 more. That's it. Only 4 more. Only 3 more. And 2 more. Not allowed to lose that waist. And last one. Oh! And down. Good. And here is side plank or side stack. And send that floor away. So came up through the hips. Good. Also assisting and coming up from underneath the arms. In one long line. That's it. So we're getting ready for our side planks. So this is side plank prep. And it's all about strengthening up those obliques, that rotator cuff area, up underneath the arms. That's it. You might find, as I have, that on one side you're not as strong. Beautiful. It's all about how we get there, guys. So give me another 3. Draw that shoulder down. 2. And 1. And here's our little pulses. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And down. That is going to prepare us, guys, for when we start to go into our plank and come up. Yeah, we want to be strong through obliques and through arms. You can see that little bit of a shake. And we want to be strong. Yeah? But we want to strengthen it and get our alignment first. Yeah? So that was our side glute med oblique series. Hope you did well there. If you felt pain or strain, stop and then come back into it. Beautiful. And now we're going to cool down, calm down. So let's go into some cat stretch. So we've been stretching all the way through our Pilates exercises, guys. Stretching as well as strengthening. So as much as we do want to do a cool down on the breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. See off on that breath in, you can scoot that little bit more in those lower abdominals. And breath out, send that vertebra nice and long. Breath out. Come down to nearly your forearms. Push that mat away. Just push it away slightly and you'll feel that between your shoulder blades stick out that booty. So here I'm kind of testing to see if I've got that work between my shoulder blades and upper back. And come back to 4-point kneeling. Breath in to prepare, long neck. Breath out, up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals, lower abdominals. Scoop a little bit more. Breath out, unwind. Breath in to prepare, breath out. Push that floor away through your hands, That's it, you want to feel the work between your shoulder blades and up underneath your arms. And come back. Up through pelvic floor, lower abdominals. Give me 4 breaths here where we just try to extend upon this. Breath up into my upper rib cage, breath out, lower abdominals. Up into my rib cage, breath out, lower abdominals. Up into rib cage, breath out, lower abdominals, and come back. And same with the extension. Breath out, push that floor away, and feeling it between your shoulder blades. And 2 more. And 1 more. come into rest pose. That's so good. And now we'll go into that lovely stretch through our back that we used our foam roller for, but we did talk about you being able to use a ball. Let's use the ball this time, and let's just place it behind. Oh. Breathing up into my upper arm, underarms, into my upper rib cage, and breath out, tummy, tum, tum. And here, I just want you to be happy that you're done, guys. You're all done. Breath out, up you come, nice and long. You can go into a nice stretch. Just be happy, happy, happy. Breath out, just try to bring your chest over a little bit more. Breath out a little bit more. But you are nice and done. Yeah. Hey guys, I hope that you've enjoyed that workout. I am not sure how many more resources I'm going to be able to share with you because I am supposed to be working on a video course for our upcoming book release, our fiction fantasy book project that my husband and I are working on. I'm also flat out busy with my Medi-Spa, trying to keep these cheeks nice and lifted and my skin nice and youthful, but I do miss my Pilates practice. Anybody who knows me knows that I do miss teaching Pilates. So I hope this video has been enjoyable for you and it will work as a resource to enable you to fall in love with the Pilates method. So I'm hoping to share more videos with you as my practice grows. And I will hopefully do that from time to time. But guys, it's up to you to stay true to your practice and to make sure that you keep in mind it's not just about looking youthful, it's about moving youthful. You want to maintain fluidity of movement. You don't want to groan getting up and off the floor, in and out of a chair, in and out of bed. You've got to do more exercise as you mature, and that's why I'm getting back into my strong Pilates practice where I will do 20-minute to 60-minute workouts 3 to 4 times a week minimum. We need to do more as we mature, and I'm on the wrong side of 40 now, or let's go the good side of 40. So I know that I need to do more, and that's what this video was made for, to hopefully put a fire up your bum and send you out into the big world of Pilates, thirsting for more and keeping yourself safe as you're doing it. So I look forward to sharing more videos with you guys. Not sure how many I'm going to be able to share, but good luck with your practice, and I hope this was fun. Jessicat's Medi-Spa and Pilates.